Welcome to Luxury Wire, where we explore humanity's most outstanding achievements. And in today's video, we'll learn about 5 of the most costly construction projects ever done. Let's get right into it. Number 5 on the list is the improved Suez Canal. Now, when it was first opened to shipping in 1869, the Suez Canal was the fastest and most direct route between the Atlantic and the Indian and Pacific Oceans. For the time being, it continues to be a major shipping route. This year's loss of over $50 billion in trade due to the 6-day Suez Canal blockade demonstrates the significance of this 193-kilometer waterway. It is estimated that this canal handled about 12% of the global trade last year. Egypt began construction in 2014 on a second shipping lane parallel to the Suez Canal, which would be 35 kilometers long. This was done because, despite the canal's immense importance, only one shipping lane was permitted, allowing an average of 49 cargo vessels to enter each day. When the new Suez Canal was built, it widened and deepened the existing canal significantly. The $9.2 billion project, which improved traffic in both directions, was finished in a year. It also helped lessen the duration of transiting ships. When these improvements are made, the number of cargo ships using the Suez Canal will reach 97 annually. Revenue for the channel is expected to grow from almost $5 billion in 2014 to over $12 billion in 2023. When it comes to building things, this is up there among the most costly ones ever, but experts predict the new Suez Canal will generate enough revenue to cover its $1 billion price tag. Coming up at number 4 is the Channel Tunnel. It's hard to think of anything more expensive than the Channel Tunnel, which connects England and France beneath the English Channel. The tunnel is the longest underwater tunnel in the world, carrying high-speed trains for more than 50 kilometers. In the early 1800s, people considered the possibility of building a tunnel beneath the waves to join Britain and France. However, it took almost 2 centuries to complete due to technological constraints and political unrest. Britain began drilling in 1987, while France started building on their side around the same time. Ensuring the two groups would really meet was the most formidable challenge. They utilized special lasers and surveying gear to do this, and so it was a huge relief when they finally met. Connecting Britain and France took place for the first time on December 1, 1990. The entire undertaking took 6 years and $12 billion to complete. It was honored for its civil engineering feats by being included on the list of the modern world's 7 wonders. Nevertheless, the Channel Tunnel is unquestionably pricey. There is, however, an even more significant financial burden associated with building yet another tunnel beneath the continent. Next up is the Big Dig in Boston. The old main thoroughfare road could barely handle 75,000 cars per day when this project was approved in 1987. However, more than twice as many vehicles were using it daily, resulting in delays of up to 10 hours while crews worked to address the issues. The huge dig began in 1991 and was supposed to be completed 7 years later. It was then assumed to create an 8-lane underground expressway extending up to 6 kilometers under the heart of Boston. However, there were hiccups and delays, as with any large-scale endeavors. Because of its proximity to Boston Harbor, the site's environmental impact was questioned. It wasn't until 1994 that authorities obtained the required environmental permits. 2 subway tracks impeded progress, and the landfill that covered much of the area through which the tunnels had to be dug made it challenging to explore. In addition, several sunken ships and the foundations of buried homes needed to be excavated. Several pre-revolutionary period artifacts were uncovered as well. Therefore, the initially estimated expenses of $2.8 billion ballooned, and the project was finally finished in 2007 after a 9-year delay. After factoring in interest, the Boston Globe calculated that the project's total cost would be almost $22 billion, with payment in full not expected until 2038. The traffic conditions, however, was eased by the project. For a day, it can accommodate over 250,000 automobiles, facilitating traffic and movement throughout the city. However, there are still major traffic issues in the city, and some claim the project has done nothing more than relocating the problem. On the other hand, completing the extensive excavation has decreased carbon monoxide levels and improved people's quality of life. With the removal of the elevated expressway, about 300 acres have become available for use in environmentally conscious endeavors and parkland development. Next is the Kansai International Airport, one of the world's busiest airports. Leaving tunnels behind, we traveled to Japan's Kansai region to investigate the first airport constructed on an artificial island. Because of its remote location, the Kansai International Airport can remain open 24 hours a day, making it one of the busiest airports in Asia. It was necessary to build an artificial island capable of housing a world-class airport because there was nowhere suitable to build this airport when it was approved. In 1987, construction began on what would become an artificial island and airport terminal. 3 mountains were crushed and poured into the seabed of thousands of considerable sandpipes to create a layer of dirt 30 meters thick above the ocean. The finished product was an artificial island measuring 4.5 kilometers in length and 2.5 kilometers in width. 4 more years passed before the airport was completed and opened to the public in 1994. Changes, maintenance, and building of a second runway increased the price to an estimated $24 billion. The Kansai International Airport, however, was an instant success thanks to its unusual location and engineering innovations. Kansai International Airport served more than 28 million passengers in 2019, making it the 3rd busiest airport in Japan, behind Tokyo International Airport and Narita International Airport. The Beijing Capital International Airport, which serves the Chinese capital, saw more than 100 million travelers in the same year. In addition, construction is progressing to increase annual passenger capacity to 40 million worldwide by 2025. However, the Beijing-Shanghai high-speed railway is the most expensive transportation project ever undertaken. The train line, built in only 3 years, reduced more than half travel times. The 320-kilometer train that cost $40 billion to construct and debuted in 2011 has become a popular tourist attraction. Over 1.3 billion passengers were carried along the rail line daily by 41 bullet trains traveling at kilometers-per-hour speeds during the first decade of service. In roughly 5 hours, they leave Beijing, travel via Jinyang, go through Nanjing, and arrive in Shanghai. Before this high-speed train was built, the identical journey would have taken between 12 and 14 hours. Over 210 million people used the train in 2019, peaking at 798,000 passengers daily. Despite exceeding $40 billion in public funding, the project was hugely successful. Subsidies and losses power many of China's high-speed train. In 2015, however, the Beijing-Shanghai high-speed railway brought in roughly $1 billion. As of 2019, the company's net profit growth rate had reached 40% for all years from 2010 to 2019. By January 2020, the Shanghai Stock Exchange had caught wind of the train's line's enormous success, and it entered the market after completing one of the most extensive initial public offerings in Chinese history. It sold over 6 billion shares for $4.5 billion. Even in the epidemic, the world's most expensive train transit megaproject managed to turn a healthy profit. It continues to be hailed as the world's premier rail route. Have you ever visited or been part of one of these elaborate and intriguing construction projects? Let us know in the comments section below. And that's all that we have for you today. If you like this video, you might also be interested in other content we have here for you at Luxury Wire. I appreciate you taking the time to watch, and until then, take care and we'll see you at the next one.